Hello everyone, today we're going to be making a really easy curry. This is Thomas Gunn at Death's House. So, just to start you off, you're going to need a nice piece of pork loin. When you buy it, it could be about this size, it could be a little bigger. You're going to see some sinew and fat. This part you want to remove, so just slide your knife closely underneath and just bring your knife, it should follow very easily, and then just lift it up and pull that piece off. You don't want that in the dish, you don't want it on the meat. So anywhere that you see little pieces like this, just do the same thing. Pull up and take that off. I mean, you know, little things like this, it's very thin, don't worry about that. That can stay. If you have a pet, a dog, those are nice little scraps. Here's one more piece, this part over here that I'm going to just slide under and let my knife do the work. And there we go. So this piece of meat is ready. That's a nice piece of meat. So what we're going to be doing is slicing this into slices. First though, I'm going to tell you that you need 2 onions, medium to large size, that you cut in half and slice. And you also need some sliced mushrooms. This is going with this one. This will be 8 large sliced mushrooms. I just wanted to show you quickly how to easily slice a mushroom. So the easiest thing to do is to make yourself 2 or 3 slices like that. Let your mushroom go down on the flat surface now. Now you don't have to worry about it rolling around, your knife slipping. And then it's really very simple, just 1, 2, 3. And there you go, you've sliced it up. Just a little trick to make it easier for you. So again, that's 8 large mushrooms, 2 onions, halved and sliced, and our piece of meat. I can tell you the weight of this piece of meat if you really need to know. Let me see here. This particular piece is, let me see where it says. I believe it's 0.6 kilograms, if that helps you guys out. As you can see, it's, you know, basically this is about 12 inches long. So now what you're going to do is you're going to make yourself medallions. So make a slice. Okay. And now you're going to continue doing that all the way down the piece of meat. Don't make them too thick because you're going to end up flattening them out a little bit. So once you have your medallions, these are really small. Typically I have a larger piece of meat because you can also get the really big ones. I don't know, I mean here in Canada at Costco they have really big, so the meat's about this big, so you get nice big medallions. But this is fine. So then you just want to, with the flat end of a tenderizer, just flatten it slightly. That's good enough. So we're going to keep doing that for the whole piece of meat, and then I'll come back and we'll continue the recipe. So the meat's all been sliced. The next step is to sprinkle everything with salt and pepper. So just give everything a light sprinkling. Here's my pepper. I'm using black pepper and salt. Just a light sprinkling over everything. And now you're going to sprinkle everything with curry powder. I just have your basic curry powder in here. I'm not going to put it in a shaker. I'm just going to directly out of the package just sprinkle everything. Just a side note, if you've got granite or marble countertops like I do, curry does tend to stain, so be careful. I mean, it's not, you know, an emergency, but if you do get some on your counters, try to wipe it up right away. And if you do have stains on your countertop, I just want to mention, and this is not sponsored, but our Granite installer did tell us that if I do get stains, that a magic eraser, you know that product there that I think they're called magic erasers. I'm not sure who they're by. That you can use those on your counters. So again, that's not sponsored, and again, that's just my opinion. Speak to your own installer if you like. So on this side now, on the other side, I've just turned them all around. You're not going to do any more salt and pepper. You're just going to do another sprinkling of curry powder. In the meantime, get yourself a pot, cover the bottom with some olive oil, get it heating up because we're going to be browning all this meat before we continue. And incidentally, you could also do this with chicken. It's very good with chicken. You can either fillet your chicken breasts. You can, what's very good, what I've done is I buy the boneless chicken thighs. I don't even cut them, I just use the thighs whole. Well, actually I do cut them. I cut the thighs in half. Alright, so this is done. I'm going to heat up my oil and then we'll continue the recipe. Alright, here we go. So my oil is heating up. While it's doing that, I'm just going to tell you real quick what else you're going to need. You're going to need 1 can of coconut milk, a little bit of heavy cream, 35%. Heavy cream is also known as whipping cream. If you see any product names, no one here is sponsoring me, I'm just letting you know. You're going to need one can. So once you've emptied the coconut milk from the can, you will fill that can with ketchup. Don't be averse to using ketchup. It really is just tomatoes, you know, ground tomatoes and sugar and a bit of vinegar. I mean, you know, you could make your own ketchup if you like, but this is the recipe I was given and it works really well. You're also going to need a curry paste. I like using the Tandoori one. Again, not sponsored, this brand. I like this brand. But they come in different flavors. You have different flavors of curry paste. You can experiment with, you know, whichever one you end up liking the best. Like I said, for this recipe, I like the Tandoori flavor. All right, so my oil should be warm. Yeah, there we go. I'm just going to turn up the heat a bit because adding the meat is going to lower the temperature. So just drop your meat in. And because it's so thin, this will go very quickly. You're just going to want to lightly brown them on all sides. Do it batch by batch. They won't all fit at the same time and you don't want to crowd your meat. So I'm going to continue doing this. It'll probably take me 3 batches, and once they're all browned, I'll continue the recipe with you guys. Okay, so the meat is all fried. I'm just going to show you really quick. So you just try to get a little bit of browning on it. That's all you need. And I'm also going to tell you, being recently single, and in addition to that, the kids moving out, I'm really not used to cooking for one, so I didn't actually use enough meat. So I had more meat in the fridge. I fried up more because this sauce is good for more meat. So I've weighed it out for you guys, and in the end, it's 2 pounds of meat. So make sure you have about 2 pounds of meat, be it pork, be it chicken, be it a combination of the two. I don't think I would use beef. It's probably not going to get tender enough. So in the oil, which is now nicely flavored with the curry that was on the meat, in go your onions. Turn up the heat a bit. Give those a stir. Look, you can see that beautiful color they're getting already just from the curry. That's really nice. And the liquid that the onions will exude will help to deglaze the bottom of your pot to get all those scrapings up. You could sprinkle your onions with just a bit of salt and pepper. Again, don't overdo it. A little bit of pepper. A good trick is to season each element as you cook. So rather than put in the meat and the onions and the mushrooms and then salt and pepper, If I do it as I go along, I know that each element will be seasoned. So see, now I'm already able to scrape up le fond, which is what that's actually called, the drippings on the bottom of your pot. F-O-N-D, which in French actually means bottom. So literally it's the bottom of the pot. I can scrape those up. And now I'm going to add in my mushrooms. And while they're on the top, I will again season those with just a little bit of salt. Not too much pepper. Get that going. And now we're just going to simmer these until everything is nice and tender, which will probably take on a low to medium-low heat about 5 minutes. So once that's done, I'll come back and we'll continue with the rest. So they've been simmering about 5 minutes, as you can see. They're getting nice and soft. You don't want to overcook this. You don't want to make it into a mush, because as you're eating it, you do want to actually have pieces of onion and mushroom. Incidentally, this is the stage now at which, if you wanted, you could add in other ingredients. I quite like adding some golden raisins and cashews. That works well. Today, though, I'm just going to be making the plain version just to give you guys the base, and then you can experiment with it as you like. Like I said, raisins are nice, nuts are nice. There's also this little red berry that you can get in Middle Eastern markets. I don't remember what the name is right now, but those are very nice. They're very, very small, almost like a currant, but it's red and they've got like a sour tang to them. All right, so in this now goes our 1 can of coconut milk. Bring that up, and also the same amount of ketchup. Remember, don't be scared of ketchup. It's tomatoes, sugar, and vinegar. I could just as easily add tomatoes, sugar, and vinegar, but why go through the hassle? This is a recipe that was actually sent to me from my aunt in Germany. They do like their curry over there. So now I'm going to put in a can of ketchup. I'm going to eyeball it because I've made this so often. I know that I'm basically at the 1-to-1 ratio. So let's bring this up to a simmer. And then while it's still a little bit cool, why don't we add in the cream so it doesn't curdle? So let me just get a measuring cup so I can be specific with you guys about how much I actually add. All right, so yeah, a 1/4 cup will do. So let's put a 1/4 cup of heavy cream. Give it a stir. And now we're going to add the curry paste. Now this part is very individual. If you like your food spicy, go to town. If you don't like it as spicy, you know, you can always add more. You can't remove it, so go slow. Myself and my ex, we don't like our food too spicy, but my kids do like it spicy. So what I ended up doing is I use a tablespoon first of all. I don't use an actual measuring tablespoon because this is how I end up knowing that it's the right amount for us. And I use a heaping tablespoonful. So I use 2 of those. That's typically strong enough for us. I'll let that go and I'll give it a taste just to see. But again, if you don't like your food spicy, I would suggest adding 1, letting it simmer for a few minutes, and then giving it a taste. If it's not spicy enough, then go ahead and add some more. If you like your food kind of medium spicy, then I'd say probably go ahead and add 2 right away, but hey, why not be safe and go slow? So let me just get a teaspoon and I'm going to give this a try. Yep, that's perfect for me. That's just enough kick. Don't forget, when you're eating this, you don't get the kick as concentrated because you will be eating it over rice. So the rice, just a quick tip, you can make perfect rice in your microwave. 1-to-2 ratio, 1 cup rice, let's say 2 cups water with some salt. Put it in a dish that's a tall dish so that the water has room to expand and the rice. Cover it in the microwave 13 minutes and you're good to go. I mean, you could also do it on the stove top. You could also make a nice coconut rice. I've got a recipe for that, I'll link you below. You could also do this with potatoes, but if you do potatoes, I would suggest peeling them, cutting them into a small dice, like maybe, 3/4 inch dices, and I would put them directly in here so that they're actually cooking in the curry liquid. That'll really impart a nice flavor. The starch from the potato might make your sauce thick or a little too thick perhaps. So in that case, you can always add a little bit of water, a little bit more milk, or a little bit stock if you have, just to get it down to the nice consistency. So now we're going to add in all the meat and we're going to let that simmer for a good 20 minutes on a nice low simmer, and I'll be back. Here you go, the finished product. Easy, quick, delicious curry. Few ingredients, nevertheless, mostly fresh ingredients. I'm serving it on a bed of basmati rice. Like I said, you could try the coconut rice. You could add some lemon zest to the rice, which is very good. You could add some sprigs of cilantro, which is nice. Just be careful because not everybody likes cilantro. And there you have it. So I hope you give this a try. It's a quick meal. It's even better a day or two ahead. So this is a great prepare ahead meal. I'm sure your family will like it. And it's really a nice, subtle, full, rounded flavor. So give this a try. Like this video, please subscribe, ring the bell, and have yourselves a great day. Take care.